Cold weather travel can be amazing, until your hands freeze, your bag overflows, and you realize your charger doesn't even work in the hotel. Hey, Johannes from Gear Up Your Life here. Today I'll show you 17 winter travel essentials that actually make cold weather trips easier. Gear that's compact, functional, and built for real travelers. From jackets and merino layers to smart tech and cozy upgrades, everything here fits into one carry-on bag. So let's dive in. Our first winter essential is the North Face Alta Vista jacket, which goes for around $120. It's lightweight, waterproof, and folds down small. Perfect for travelers who want real protection without bulky gear. The outer shell uses dry vent fabric, which is fully seam sealed, breathable, and windproof, yet still soft enough to stay comfortable on long days out. You get pit zips for ventilation, adjustable cuffs, and a packable hood that actually fits over headphones. Small details, but super useful when you're on the move. I've had this exact one with me here in Greece. Only needed it once early in the morning, but it's the kind of jacket you'll be glad to have when the weather turns. It's not made for Alaska level cold, but for city trips, mild winter destinations, or layering with merino, it's kind of perfect. And for how little space it takes up in a carry-on, it's easily one of the smartest outer layers you can pack. Our second winter essential isn't just a jacket or gadget, it's a solid piece of luggage. In winter, I'm personally not the biggest fan of backpacks or full-checked luggage. Once you start packing thicker jackets, a big duffel just makes more sense. My favorite is the Cotopaxi Alpa 55 liter getaway duffel, which sells for around $140. Super durable, tons of space, and still easy to carry through airports or car trips. But if you're more into classic carry-on travel, the Travel Pro Maxlite 521-inch expandable spinner is hard to beat. At around $160, it's lightweight, under 6 pounds, expands for extra winter layers, and rolls smoother than most luggage twice its price. The polyester shell is water and stain resistant, the handle feels sturdy, and inside you actually get space. For anyone traveling with sweaters, boots, and a heavier setup, this one just makes winter packing stress-free. Our next winter essential are merino wool layers, and don't worry, this time I'm not going with the premium $100 shirts. Instead, I've been using merino.tech, which offers a much more affordable lineup. For me, it's one of those upgrades that you only notice once you've tried it, especially when it comes to long sleeves, underwear, and socks. I'm personally not a big fan of merino pants, but for upper layers and especially socks, it makes a massive difference. They regulate temperature insanely well, don't smell after long travel days, and they dry quickly if you have to wash them on the go. If you've never used merino before, it's a natural fiber from merino sheep that keeps you warm when it's cold, cool when it's hot, and comfortable no matter how long you wear it. At around $25 to $40 per piece, they're one of the smartest comfort upgrades you can make for winter travel. Small in your bag, but huge in impact. Next up, something that sounds a bit unnecessary until you've actually used it, rechargeable hand warmers. I've got the standard ones from Amazon, the O Cooper model for around $25, and honestly, they're surprisingly good. I originally bought them back in Germany last winter, mostly for early morning runs and freezing train platform, and they've been in my travel bag ever since. They heat up in seconds, have 3 intensity levels, and last around 8 hours on one charge. What I really like is that you can even use them as a mini power bank in an emergency, which is perfect for long travel days. For cold weather trips, outdoor work sessions, or even editing on a balcony in December, these are one of those small gadgets that make winter a lot more bearable. Our next essential is the Evervessel Mini, and I didn't include it because it keeps drinks warm, but because it's small. When you're traveling in winter, your bag already fills up faster than usual. Jackets, gloves, tech, all of it adds up, so every bit of save space matters. The Vessel Mini is super compact, leak-proof, and just the right size for a morning coffee on the go. It's perfect for trains, short flights, or even gym sessions when you don't want to carry a full-size bottle around. And if you do want something that actually keeps your drinks hot for hours, the Yeti Rambler tumbler is still one of the best options. It's just heavier and a bit pricier at around $35 to $40. So if space is your priority, go for the Vessel Mini. Next up, the Sea to Summit Travel Umbrella, which sounds like a boring pick, until you've been stuck in a downpour halfway across a new city. I grabbed mine before a trip to Brussels this summer, and it's been one of those items that quietly earns its place in every bag. It's made from ultralight 6061T6 aluminum with a waterproof canopy that actually handles wind surprisingly well for its size. At just 5.1 ounces, around 145 grams, is one of the lightest full-size travel umbrellas out there and still feels solid. Not flimsy, like those $10 ones that break after 2 uses. The best part? It folds small enough to slide into your day pack or even a jacket pocket, so you barely notice it's there until you need it. At roughly $100, it's absolutely not cheap for an umbrella, but for frequent travelers, it's one of those small upgrades that saves a whole outfit and your mood on a rainy day. Our next winter essential is the Carhartt knit cuffed beanie, and honestly, this one proves how much small gear can change your comfort when traveling in cold weather. Most people underestimate how much warmth you lose through your head, especially during early morning flights, long train rides, or just exploring cities where the wind cuts through everything. This beanie has become my go-to because it's lightweight, packs down tiny, and still keeps your head warm even in freezing wind. The thick rib knit acrylic feels soft, not scratchy, and it dries quickly if it gets wet, which is perfect when you're constantly on the move. I've used the standard black version, and it's one of those items you forget you're even wearing until you take it off and realize how cold it actually is. For around $20 to $25, it's easily one of the simplest, most useful winter travel upgrades you can make. Our next winter essential might not look wintry at first, but trust me, when it's freezing outside, having no power is 10 times worse. The green Nexode power bank has saved me more times than I can count, whether it's my phone dying on a cold train platform or my earbuds running out mid-flight. Cold temperatures drain batteries faster, and this compact 10,000 mAh charger keeps everything alive without adding bulk to your setup. It's part of Ugreen's new Nexode series, built with a smooth matte finish, fast 30 watts USB-C output, and enough juice to fully charge your phone twice. I've used it on multiple travel days, and even after hours in the cold, it still performs just as well. At around $45 to $50, it's not the cheapest option, but it's one of those items you instantly miss the moment you forget it at home, especially when the next outlet is hours away. Our next winter essential is something I never travel without anymore: compression cubes. And when it comes to winter packing, these from Thule are easily the best ones I've tested so far. Winter clothes are bulky, jackets, hoodies, thicker shirts, and suddenly even a 40-liter backpack feels tiny. That's where compression cubes make a huge difference. The Thule cubes don't just organize your gear, they actually squeeze out excess air with a second zipper layer, giving you way more space without wrinkling your clothes. The fabric feels durable yet flexible, and the zippers are smooth even when the cube is completely packed. I've used mine on longer trips where space was tight, and it's honestly impressive how much you can fit in just one or two of these. At around $40 for a set, they're not the cheapest, but for anyone trying to pack a full winter setup into a carry-on, they're basically a lifesaver. Our next essential might look simple, but if you've ever walked through a freezing city or stood in snow waiting for a bus, you'll know why insulated insoles are a game changer. The Pedix Solar insoles add an instant layer of warmth and comfort, especially when your shoes aren't made for true winter weather. They use a 3-layer design with a thermal foil that reflects heat back toward your feet, a soft felt upper for comfort, and a middle layer that blocks out cold from the ground. I first tried them on a December trip in Denmark, and I'm not exaggerating when I say they made cheap sneakers feel like proper winter boots. They're lightweight, easy to trim for any shoe size, and don't add bulk or change how your shoes fit. For around $15 to $20, they're one of the cheapest upgrades that actually make long walks in the cold far more comfortable. And once you've used them, you'll never travel in winter without them again. Our next winter essential is something most people forget until they're freezing mid-flight or stuck on a long train ride. A compact travel blanket might sound like a luxury, but once you've tried one, it instantly becomes a must-have. The one I use folds down smaller than a hoodie, weighs almost nothing, and still keeps you warm whether you're on a plane, in a cold Airbnb, or waiting at the airport gate. It's made from a lightweight insulated microfiber which feels soft, packs tiny, and dries super fast if it ever gets wet. And unlike those thin airline blankets, this one actually traps heat, perfect for layering over your jacket or wrapping around your legs on a red-eye flight. For me, it's become one of those underrated comfort items that just make travel days easier. You'll find my favorite version linked below in the description. It's compact, cozy, and worth every bit of space in your carry-on. Our next winter essential is the Anker Fusion 2-in-1, and this one's perfect for everyone who doesn't want to pack both a power bank and a wall plug. It's basically a portable charger and wall adapter in one tiny device, which means fewer cables, fewer things to forget, and way more space in your bag. It comes with a 5,000 mAh battery, enough to top up your phone or earbuds on the go, and when you plug it into the wall, it automatically recharges itself. No extra cables, no waiting, just plug it in, charge your gear, and move on. What I love most is how travel-friendly it feels. It's compact, solid, and the foldable prongs make it perfect for carry-on setups. At around $45, it's not the cheapest charger out there, but for winter trips when you already pack more gear, combining two essentials into one makes total sense. For me, this has become the definition of smart travel tech: small, reliable, and genuinely useful. Our next winter essential is one of those items you never think about until you actually need it: the Peak Design shoe pouch. It's perfect for keeping your dirty or wet shoes separated from the rest of your clothes, which becomes a lifesaver during cold or rainy trips. The pouch folds completely flat when not in use, weighs almost nothing, and still fits up to a pair of sneakers or boots thanks to its expandable design. The recycled nylon fabric is weatherproof, easy to wipe clean, and super durable. Exactly what you'd expect from Peak Design. I've used it on multiple city trips, and it's especially useful when I'm traveling with my running shoes. And at around $25, it's a simple but clever essential that keeps your bag fresh and your clothes protected, especially when winter weather tries to ruin everything. Our next winter essential might sound a little funny: the Buxton Hotel slippers. They're perfect for those cold balcony mornings, quick coffee runs in your Airbnb, or just walking across freezing hotel floors. I've been using mine since last winter, and honestly, for around $18, they've held up incredibly well. They're lightweight, foldable, and the soft microfleece lining keeps your feet warm without making them sweaty. What I really like is that they actually look decent, not like those cheap one-use hotel slippers. And the rubber sole means you can step outside without destroying them. It's such a small luxury that adds a big comfort boost during colder trips. If you hate walking barefoot on cold tiles or wooden floors, this one's a total no-brainer. Our next winter essential is the North Face E-tip gloves, and if you've followed me for a while, you already know how picky I am when it comes to gloves. These hit the perfect balance between warmth, comfort and touchscreen usability, which makes them ideal for travel days when you're constantly using your phone for maps, boarding passes or photos. They're wind resistant, have a soft fleece inside, and the silicone grip actually works even when it's wet or icy outside. I'll talk a bit more about them in Sunday's EDC video because they're also a big part of my everyday carry setup this winter. But let's just say this, if you want one pair of gloves that looks clean, packs small, and actually lets you use your phone properly, the E-tip gloves are the ones to grab. At around $45, they're not the cheapest, but they've easily become one of my most used cold weather essentials. Our 16th winter essential is the Sea to Summit Frontier Ultralight Kettle Set, and this thing is a game changer for anyone who travels in colder climates. It's ultralight, packs down incredibly small, and still holds enough water for a proper cup of coffee, tea, or even a quick freeze-dried meal. The hard anodized aluminum heats up super fast and the silicone handle stays cool, which means no burned fingers when you're making coffee outside or in a cold Airbnb kitchen. I've used it a few times during early winter mornings, and it's one of those items that instantly makes travel days more comfortable. At around $45, it's not the cheapest kettle, but for how compact, tough and reliable it is, it's easily one of my favorite cold weather travel upgrades. Last but not least, the Omni flashlight, and honestly, this one might be the most underrated winter essential on the list. When it gets dark early and you're walking through quiet streets, heading out for a night run, or even hiking through the woods, a powerful flashlight makes all the difference. The Omni is tiny but insanely bright, with a magnetic base so you can stick it to a car, gate, or even a lamppost when you need both hands free. It's USB-C rechargeable, built from tough anodized aluminum, and puts out a clean wide beam that lights up your path without being blinding. I've been using it since last winter for late jogs and evening walks, and it's one of those gadgets you don't realize you need until you do. At around $35, it's small, tough, and always ready to go. And don't go anywhere yet, because next up are 4 bonus gadgets that are compact, affordable, and might just sneak their way into your carry-on for every winter trip. But before we jump into the bonus gadgets, as many of you have already noticed, I recently launched a new review channel. The very first review is already live, and from now on there'll be at least one new review every week, whether it's backpacks, carry-ons, or even flashlights. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed over there. Seriously, it would mean a lot. It's the first link in the description or the pinned comment. So with that said, let's get back to the video. First bonus pick, Simple Winter Lip Balm. It sounds basic, but dry lips are honestly one of the fastest ways to ruin a good day in cold weather. The one I use is the Burt's Bees Winter Formula. It's natural, small, and works way better than those cheap petrol ones from airport shops. It fits in any pocket, weighs nothing, and at around $4, it's the smallest travel essential you'll actually use every single day. Next up, the Noshinka hand sanitizer. This one's a total upgrade from the usual sticky gels. It's refillable, plant-based, and smells incredible. I've been using the bergamot version since summer, and it's still going strong. The fine mist feels like skincare instead of alcohol spray, and at around $10, it's one of those small luxury items that make travel just a bit nicer. Our third bonus gadget, the AeroPress Go. If you love good coffee, this one is basically non-negotiable. It's lightweight, compact and everything. Filter, scoop and stirrer. Fits neatly inside the cup. Perfect for hotels, long drives or work sessions on the road. I've had mine for over a year, and it's still one of my favorite ways to start the day while traveling. At around $40, it's worth every cent for the taste and convenience. And finally, the Osprey rain cover. It's the kind of gear you forget about until the weather turns against you. It packs down to almost nothing, slips right over your backpack, and keeps everything bone dry, even during heavy rain or snow. I always keep one in my bag, especially for winter trips when sudden showers are almost guaranteed. At around $25, it's cheap insurance for everything you carry. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this little winter edition of Travel Essentials. If you want to see even more smart travel gear and everyday upgrades, you can check out the videos linked on the left. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do that right here on the right. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you this Sunday for the upcoming EDC edition. And as always, safe travels guys.